choice is Hawkeye.
They will give you a free 30-day trial.
Yeah, man.
Hey, tell me something. You ever say anything but yeah, man?
Yeah, man.
Just say, yeah, man, to Hawk Tracker from Hawkeye. Call us at 926 Hawk. Conditions apply.
It hurts if you don't check earth. Be excellent customer service. Our staff is knowledgeable and trustworthy. And if we have a wide variety of supplies, society and the price is right, yes, it's worth it. The solution to your auto parts things to one-stop shop. And we deliver to, so if you can't come in, just link up on WhatsApp or call and make your order. And remember, there's no other. So it hurts if you don't check earth. So there's no need to search. It hurts if you don't check earth.
The Paris Games Experience is sponsored by Hawkeye Electronic Security, securing what matters most. EdgeChem, changing lives one gallon at a time. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you better. Western Sports, the sports people. Bert's Auto, it hurts if you don't check Bert's. Petrojam, securing Jamaica's energy needs. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard. The Paris Games Experience is sponsored by Hawkeye Electronic Security, securing what matters most. EdgeChem, changing lives one gallon at a time. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you better. Western Sports, the sports people. Bert's Auto, it hurts if you don't check Bert's. Petrojam, securing Jamaica's energy needs. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
Hey, welcome. This is Omega KLAS Radio, and this is the Paris Games Experience. I'm your host, Ed Barnes. Davian Nugent, I hope you didn't pick up what Noah Lyles was handing out. It looks like he's not too well. Davian, get well in a hurry. And again, we send out the same to our sports minister, Olivia Grange, that she gets well in a hurry. Great work, hardworking minister. We hope that she feels much better very soon. Okay, so the Jamaican women took a step further in the 4x400, winning their semi-final in 3 minutes 24.92. Good going. They're into the final. Akira Nugent will be Jamaica's lone athlete in the women's 100-meter hurdles final. And I can tell you that in today's semi-final, she placed third, 12.44 to advance. The other two Jamaicans, Danielle Williams, hit a couple of hurdles while finishing sixth in her semi-final. Janique Brown was seventh in her race. Now, the defending champion, Camacho Queen of Puerto Rico, was the fastest qualifier, 12.35. And we look forward to great things to come. We have Mr. Harvey. Okay, we're going to be speaking with Ray Harvey, and we'll also speak with Gregory Horton as we go up to the 1 o'clock hour, where the sports desk will come your way. And, of course, the happenings will start over there in Paris. We'll come back with a full program for you at 3 o'clock this afternoon to recap what's happening. So again, the hurdles, Akira Nugent, and we hope to speak with Mr. Harvey about the performance of the Jamaican ladies as far as the hurdles is concerned. Jamaica has 6 medals at these championships, the Paris Olympics. Rashid Broadbell having picked up the latest, a bronze medal in the 110-meter hurdles for men yesterday. Grant Holloway of the USA taking gold, with another American, Daniel Roberts, diving full stretch ahead to get the silver over Jamaica's Broadbell. And Grenada's Anderson Peters, well, he captured the bronze medal, this in the men's javelin. And the other thrower from the region, out of Trinidad and Tobago, former champion, didn't get among the medals this time. So congrats to Grenada's Anderson Peters in that javelin throw. And we need to find out here in Jamaica what it is that is creating those javelin throwers down there and elsewhere in the Caribbean, especially in Grenada these days. Mr. Peters, congrats. And congrats to the Jamaican team with their 6 medals and 1 gold in that. Roger Stoner, that in the men's discus event. And then we have, of course, a couple of silvers and a couple of bronze medals to go along. And hopefully, Jamaica will be able to capture some more before too long. So what we'll do is move along and speak with Gregory Horton on our lines. That's what we'll do here, as we are unable to link with Mr. Harvey at this time. So we will link with Greg Horton to talk more about these Olympic Games. Now, Daniel Williams, the 2-time world champion, hitting a couple of hurdles in her flight this morning in trying to get to the next stage of the women's 100-meter hurdles. That event went off some 5 o'clock Jamaica time this morning, and she just didn't make it. So the women doing well in the 4x4, 3 minutes, 24.92. Our great friend, Gregory Horton, is joining us. Gregory, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barnes. How are you today?
Oh, I am fantastic. I'm just bubbling, ready to go. I'm going to be doing a 4x4 myself.
Okay.
Gregory, the girls did well, the 4x4 team, very well. They not only qualified, but they qualified by winning their semifinals. 3 minutes, 24.92. Says something happening for the ladies here, Gregory.
Well, I said it, earlier that the team is a good team. I hope that they can get everything together in terms of mindset, because that's what it is all about. And, sometimes there's a little negative thing going on around you, it can take a toll. So the 4 young ladies, I think that they are good enough to make it in the top 3. They just have to get their minds together for the final showdown.
Okay. The hurdles, the sprint hurdles early this morning, Akira Nugent, the only Jamaican advancing to the final. Daniel Williams hit a couple of hurdles and didn't figure in the final shakeup, while Janique Brown finished back in 7th place. But I suspect that normally Daniel Williams don't hit hurdles, and that would have thrown her off badly, Gregory.
Yes, and I said it before that it's going to be a very tough task for the 100-meter hurdles, women, because the field is so competitive, and when you're in a field that is as competitive as that, some of the slowest time maybe 12:2, 12:3, you have to be at the top of your game. You can't go there not fully physically and mentally ready. And in Daniel's case, I'm not saying it's the pressure that may have gotten to her, but I can tell you that the pressure out there is very real. And if you're not fully mentally prepared, it will get the best of you.
Gregory Horton, the Olympian, talking with us here on Omega KLAS. And of course, this is the Paris Games Experience. Jamaica has 6 medals, Gregory, and all but 1 has come from the field events. People thought this was not going to happen because everybody was banking on a number of medals to come from track. It didn't happen this time. Now we hear a young lady, Daniel Thomas Dodd, speaking out about support and people coming down on her from all different sides. And she said nothing wrong. She said nothing wrong. And she did not talk about money. She did not suggest that she's not getting financial support. All she said is that she wanted to have her coach for the last 2.5 weeks. That's all she said. And everybody's up in arms about she shouldn't have. She did not say she didn't get support. She said she wanted more support. And in this case, the support she wanted was to have had her coach with her for the last 2.5 weeks. Gregory, did she say something wrong?
You're absolutely right. And, when you look on even the Olympic champions too, you saw where his coach was there. His coach is an American. He's from Clemson. And he got the instructions that he needed to make the adjustment. And that is what Daniel Thomas Todd is saying, that under pressure situation, it is always best to have your your people in your corner. And she's saying that she did not have that. So you're absolutely right, Mr. Barnes. At no point in the interview did she mention anything about not getting any financial support from either federations. She just said that she wished she had her coach there because the coach would have made a major difference in the outcome of what happened 2 days ago.
Gregory, is it that you and I heard a different interview from everybody? Everybody was talking. Is
Well,
that it?
well, for that reason, Mr. Barnes, I went out and I tried to find other interviews to make sure that even before I talk on it, that I had everything together. And I could not find another interview where she mentioned in any way that she did not get the support from the JOA or the J3. She basically said she wished she had her coach there. He was not afforded an accreditation. And because of that, even though he could have paid his way there, he just could not get in the village to give her any, I should say, at the warm-up track, to give her any advice as to how to make the adjustment in real-time situations.
It is so simple, Gregory. You made it so simple, and people are making it difficult. The thing that still boggles my mind is that it is obvious to me, Gregory Horton, that a lot of the people who have been talking never even heard the interview. They never heard it.
It's so unfortunate, and I think that those who are in a position to make a difference should make a difference. And I say that because those who heard the interview still mention the fact that she was being an ingrate. There is nothing in what was said that showed that the young lady did not appreciate what her federation did for her. And I thought that was disingenuous for those who saw the interview to come out and try to make that the talking point. I think in a lot of ways it might be beneficial to them, but it is injustice to the athlete who genuinely suffered because she did not have a part of her team there. So, I hope she can bounce back from that. I hope that she can get the necessary help that she needs, because you could tell, she said it, that her mental state is not where it should be because of the pressure that she's dealing with right now. And instead of telling stories, I think it would be best for everyone to get around her and just try to be understanding to her situation, because the situation is real. It's not made up, Mr. Bond. It's real. The frustration that she saw was because she entered a competition that did not give her an advantage when everybody else had their coaches there. She did not have a vital member of her team. And she said something that really stuck out. She said that the warm-up, her coach, is a vital part of her warm-up process. Because if you don't get it right in the warm-up, chances are you may never get it right in competition.
Gregory Horton, I am extremely happy to have had you, of all persons, to be able to talk on this subject today. One of the things that came out of what is happening now, or is coming out, is that people really don't pay attention. They don't pay attention. Now, what she said, there are people who are suggesting that, she can do, the coach can be there by remote. It is not the same thing. And better yet, the remote thing might work for somebody else. It doesn't work for everybody. And we got to accept her for what she's going through, right?
But Mr. Bond, when you're in a competition where some of the talented athletes have their coaches there, and they have recordings, they have video, they have images that they can look at, and they can make the adjustments in real time. How do you get an advantage when you may not be as talented as these people, and these people are getting additional instruction, additional support, additional encouragement? How on earth can you compete on the same playing field? And that is why my grandma used to say that donkey said the ground level, because there's no way she could have been able to compete successfully. You see, she was there right up until the end. But when it comes to the technical events, you find that one good throw, one good jump can make a difference. And in that case, 3 or 4 other individuals had a good throw in the last moment, crunch time. And that is when she needed her coach the most, during the crunch time situation.
Gregory, there's also a position being advanced that, oh, she could have asked one of the throwing coaches that are there. It is not the same because that person would not have been working with her for the last 2 years, right?
Right. And my thing is this: I do understand the dilemma that the federation may find itself in, where you cannot give an accreditation to everyone.
That's
So
for
if you
sure.
can't
That's for
give
sure.
accreditation to every coach, then you must put measures in place that can combat that. And I think that what they need to do is to get 2 or 3 top tier technical coaches in an area where they can liaison with other coaches who are not able to get in, and they could take the instructions from that coach and they could pass it on to the athlete. Because in this case, you notice most of the medals that we receive now is in the technical events, jumps or the throws.
Right.
And as a result of that, we have to adapt to the situation. If we know in advance that we cannot get every coach accreditation, then we have to find a different strategy to make sure that those who do not have their coaches there, that they still may not suffer the blow as Daniel Thomas suffered the blow. And again, I emphasize your situation because it is real, Mr. Barnes. This is not a make-up story. It is a real situation.
You know, I'm waiting patiently to see who is going to be the adult in the room to step up and say, I spoke out of turn. Who is going to be the adult to say, I apologize for making the comments because really I was out of step in the fact that she did not speak about what I am referring to. I am waiting to love it to it. It would be nice though, and I don't know if those who made the comments realize how big or bigger it makes you by standing up and saying, look, mea culpa. Look, I erred. I shouldn't have said that because I didn't know the full details. Now that I know, I recognize that she was plain and simple talking about having her coach there, and I can't argue with that. I wish that some of my friends who have come out and said these things will be willing to come forward now and says, look, I misspoke. I shouldn't have said that. And Daniel Thomas Dodd did not say anything wrong based on now having listened to the interview. Because as you know, Gregory, it is funny. In this business of sports journalism or broadcasting, it is about communication. And to be able to communicate properly, one of the things you must do is listen. Listen. You took the opportunity to go search because you're saying to yourself, there must be something else that somebody said. I need to listen. And you couldn't find anything else. So you come back to the point that what you heard, nothing was wrong with it. So,
Well, at the end of the day, Mr. Barnes, we all have to play our part. And some people will make a difference in a positive way, and some people will make a difference in a negative way. I think what we must do is to continue to support the athletes when we see that there is a genuine need. And in this case, regardless of who you are, if you're one of the person on the street hitting the pot cover, you can make a difference. So when you see these interviews and you need to make a comment, make the comment. Say what you know. Say what you think. If you need to make a video and say what you think. Because at the end of the day, believe me, the athletes need the support, and sometimes the support will have to come from people who are in a position outside of the federation or the federation, just to show our support and show that we genuinely care. And I'm not saying that those who are in authority don't care, but maybe the way they look at it
yes,
is the wrong way, and until we do our commentaries, they may never even get to realize that the way they look at things might be totally off, and it is not good for the athletes on a whole.
okay. Gregory Horton, the Olympian, talking with us here on the Paris Games Experience on Omega KLAS Radio. Gregory, just getting back to actual competition, we have a couple of big events coming up. Still a day to go of competition. in Saturday. The Jamaicans find themselves in the sprint relay for women and the 4x400 for women. Now it comes down to the women, the women, the women. We also have the finalists in Nugent in that hurdles contest. We have the young man Clark in the 400 hurdles final. So we still have opportunities of getting some more medals here, Gregory Horton.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I am trying to be as optimistic as possible. I know that in this case, the women 4x4, they are in a good position to bring home a medal. Nugent, another Excelsorian, I know that it's going to take a lot. She can do it. She ran 12, I want to say 12:28 in Jamaica. I think she is capable of pulling it off, but she has to rise to the occasion. The women 4x1, I'm trying to be hopeful in this case, but I know that is a monumental task for them to achieve right now. Is it possible? They are in the final, and once you're in the final, it is possible. As for Mr. Clark, he's up against some formidable forces, and I think that he can only go there and do his best. When you look at him, you can tell that he's highly confident, that he believes that it is possible, and that's where it starts. So I think that once you're in the final, you have a shot at it, and I think we are going to give our best effort come tomorrow, and what is to be will be. We can live with it as long as the athletes give their best effort. That's all we can ask of them to do.
Right. Well put, Gregory, because when man has done his best, they say not even angels are able to do better. So we're thankful for what they're doing, the athletes are, and we support them wholeheartedly. And if they're wrong, we'll tell them. If they're wrong, we'll tell them. But when they're not, we've got to be careful and not attack them, And even when they're wrong, you have to temper how you deal with that matter, because you could harm them in trying to help them. So we have to be very, very, very careful. So again, the hurdles, 100 meters final, Akira Nugent. And Gregory, you must be a proud man, because this young lady went to a certain school called Excelsior.
Yes, I can tell you I had the opportunity to talk with her on numerous occasions while at the Excelsior. Very tough, strong-headed person. So I know that she, being in the final, no, she's not going to lay down and roll over. She's going to be an Aggie anymore. She's going to do it with all her might. And that's all we can ask. So you're going over barriers. Anything can happen. The best can hit the obstacle that is before them.
Gregory Horton, the Olympian.
We hope that she can get over them fully, and we hope that she can pull it off.
Okay. Gregory, stay where you are, because, okay. The other thing is that based on where we started, as far as these games are concerned, part of Jamaica's difficulty has been injuries. We had Shelley, Sharika, and then we had the young quarter miler who also ran into problems, oblique Seville. A number of things happened along the way. You can't plan for these things. You can't sometimes eliminate them. But at least where some are concerned, you can do the best you can for at least comforting them and making sure that they are able to mentally move ahead next time around.
You see, injuries is a part of the game. One of the best way you can prevent injuries is through preparation. There are things that you must do as an athlete. You must make sure you get adequate sleep. You must make sure that you do your recovery, your supplementation. All of this go together in the making of a champion. It is unfortunate that sometimes random injuries can take place, and sometimes as an athlete you have no control over it. So in this case, what I can tell you for me, during my time, I had 15 years in the sport, I had only maybe one injury, which was career ending, is that you have to make sure you play your part as an athlete. You have to make sure you're properly hydrated. You have to make sure your flexibility is there. You can control what you can control. And at the end of the day, if you go there and give your best and you get injured, then you have no one to blame. But I know that sometimes athletes don't do what they're supposed to do. And that is when it becomes problematic. So in this case, Mr. Barnes, injuries, they're a part of the game. Sometimes there's not much you can do to prevent it. Yeah.
Okay, stay where you are. This is Omega KLAS Radio, and you're listening to the Paris Games Experience. And your host, Ted Barnes. Stay where you are because we're going to go to a break, and we'll come back with some more from Gregory Horton, and you'll also hear directly from over there in France, hopefully. So stay where you are.
Greetings to you listeners. This is Reverend Ryan A. Gordon, Senior Pastor of the Broken Vessels Healing and Deliverance Ministries, located at 120 Main Street, Pineapple, Ocheria, St. Anne, Jamaica, West Indies. Join me every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. inside the Kingdom Lifestyle Radio Show with Brother Frisco. Join me for a word in time. You cannot afford to miss this powerful word every Sunday morning on this station.
It's all right.
Tell me something. How you stay on top of your mortgage?
Well, I set up a standing order at my bank. It is easy, it is automatic, and I don't have to worry about spending it on other things.
Everybody needs a plan. Make one, stick to it, and pay on time. And that way you keep the keys to your home.
We are the MHD, the key to your home.
We're your partner in color, over 30 years strong, serving Jamaica beautifully, changing lives and leading the revolution with quality products innovated for when you need a superior finish. Edge campaigns are trusted, loved, and used by experts in the business of automotive, industrial, decorative, and furniture. We have the blueprint to help you create, vibe, and live life beautifully. EdgeChem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. We're your partner in color, over 30 years strong.
You're listening to the Paris Games Experience, sponsored by Hawkeye Electronic Security, securing what matters most. EdgeChem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you better. Western Sports, the sports people. Bert's Auto, it hurts if you don't check Bert's. Petrojam, securing Jamaica's energy needs. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard. You're listening to the Paris Games Experience, sponsored by Hawkeye Electronic Security, securing what matters most. EdgeChem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you better. Western Sports, the sports people. Bert's Auto, it hurts if you don't check Bert's. Petrojam, securing Jamaica's energy needs. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
Okay, this is Omega KLAS Radio, the Paris Games Experience. A quick word, Gregory, before we break away for the afternoon session. Hopefully, the relays will do something for us to perk us up, okay?
Sure.
All right. So we talk to you just after 3 o'clock Jamaica time, 4 o'clock your time, Gregory.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Barnes.
Good. Thank you. So this is Omega KLAS Radio, and it is the Paris Games Experience. We're going to come back because lots of things happening. The relays are going to be run off and stuff like that. So we'll talk with you following the sports desk. That comes up at about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
The Paris Games Experience was sponsored by Hawkeye Electronic Security, securing what matters most. EdgeChem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you better. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
This is KLAS FM, the station where you get God and sports. We broadcast on the 89 frequencies on your FM band and online at omegaklas.com.